Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Kim, and I hope you are having a fabulous day today. If you are interested in true crime like I am, I hope that you would consider hitting that subscribe button. But either way, thanks for being here. Today, we're going to be talking about Tatiane Spitzner. I really wanted to share Tatiane's story because I wanted to raise awareness through her story. Tatiane spent her day getting beautiful, all done up for her husband for his birthday, and little did she know that her night would end in devastation. Let's talk about Tatiane Spitzner. And we just hit 30,000, guys. I was in complete tears. I was beside myself, let me tell you. I am not taking these moments for granted at all. But enough rambling from me. Let's get into it. First, I have to give a warning. Today's video is another crimey story in which we talk about the topic of domestic violence. Also, I have some clips. Please click out if that is a trigger for you. I have seen Tatiane's name spelled two different ways online, so you are going to see, if you look it up, Tatiana. Based on most of the Brazilian reporters, they're writing Tatiane. Her Instagram is Tatiane, and the sister's post that she posted about Tatiane has Tatiane written. So we're going to go with Tatiane, but just know it's full respect. It may be the difference in countries that it's said different. So there. Tatiane Spitzner was a 29-year-old college graduate who went on to become a lawyer. Her friends would say that she was not only beautiful, but she was a compassionate person who loved animals. She loved her family and was very outgoing and sociable. You invited Tatiane to a party, she was there. Tatiane would marry her husband, Luis Philippe Mandevillers, in 2013 after only 2 weeks of their engagement. Luis was age 32 at the time of this case. He was a university biology lecturer. Tatiane and her husband lived in Guapora, South Brazil. It seems as if their personalities were quite different from one another. Tatiane was, of course, described as warm, had a lot of friends and family, whereas Luis was cold and kind of standoffish. Nobody really knew him. He didn't really let people in. He was described as more professional and was well-spoken, but wasn't warm and caring. People knew he had a brother and a sister, but really not much else. The gym that Luis went to, the owner would say that Luis would come in, he'd work out, and then he'd leave. He didn't chat at all with anybody. He just wasn't that type of person. The pictures of these two, Tatiane and her husband Luis, oh my gosh, they are stunning. Like, these are like models. Like, you buy a picture frame and these people would be in it. They're just gorgeous. And they gave the perception of a perfect life. They didn't have any little ones at home, no children. So they had the freedom to go out and really seem to enjoy life. But as we know, it isn't always as it seems. Tatiane was being abused behind closed doors. We now know. Tatiane's friends suspected something was going on between Tatiane over the years, but they really didn't say anything. Tatiane would often have bruises, specifically on her arms, that she would, if they were shown, she'd quickly cover them up. Tatiane would suffer in silence because there was no police reports filed for the abuse. We will come back to this, though. Tatiane would tell her friends that she went shopping and bought a new outfit. Tatiane would be so excited to have a new outfit, but if Luis didn't approve this said outfit, she was forbidden from wearing it. And at times, he was known to cut up her clothes altogether to prevent her from ever even thinking about wearing it. He needed to approve all of her outfits. He would also refuse to do any work around the house or cook. He believed that it was Tatiane's job. It's a woman's job to do that. Tatiane was getting overwhelmed with all of the housework and cooking and grocery shopping, holding down a full job. it's a lot. And they had the income. So she suggested to Louise that they would hire a housekeeper to help with the housework, to take one thing off of her plate. She was feeling overwhelmed with it all. Louise got angry at her and shut down the idea immediately. Even though Tatiane stated that she would pay for it, he absolutely said no. It was her job to make sure that the work done around the house was done. In fact, Louise micromanaged the money that came in. If Tatiane wanted to buy something, she needed to get it approved through Louise. If Louise wanted something, well, he just went out and bought it. Not only did Louise physically abuse Tatiane and control her, Louise was mentally abusive as well. He would often call Tatiane names and degrade her. To further the emotional abuse, if they had an argument, he would not talk to her for days. Literally, just walk by her as if she didn't exist. Like, what kind of messed up 2-year-old crap is that? 5 years of marriage, and this was wearing on Tatiane. He had so much control over her, she was trying to find the strength to leave. Tatiane would tell one of her friends through WhatsApp that he hates me to death. It was July 22nd, 2018, and it was Luis's birthday. Tatiane and Luis were going out to dinner with some friends to celebrate the evening. Tatiane wanted to look absolutely gorgeous, as she always did. She wanted to get done up extra for her husband's birthday, so she decided to get her nails done for the evening. Well, her appointment ran over, so Luis is waiting at home just boiling in anger that she would make them late. So they started arguing even before they went out to celebrate his birthday. They go to dinner with friends. The evening with friends seemed to go well. There was no big fights or anything. Both Tatiane and Louis had several drinks while they were there, so both of them are feeling no pain. They return home from being out. This is where I am going to throw a bunch of CCTV at you, and it is not pleasant to see. I'm not going to show all of the images that are online, but you can definitely check them out. There is more, and they're more graphic and disturbing. I want you to see what happened and not scar you for life like I am from seeing them. But before they could even pull into their parking garage, you can see them in Luis's car. He is in the driver's seat and Tatiane is in the passenger side. He is seen hitting her a couple times in her face. Luis doesn't tell the truth a lot, so take this with a grain of salt. But what he said they were fighting about was because he had posted an Instagram photo of happy birthday, it's my birthday or whatever, and people were messaging him. So Tatiane was jealous that he was talking to other women on his Instagram. So I don't know if that's true or not. The friends of Tatiane would say that he was extremely jealous. So they could have been, who knows what happened, but that's what he said. So they finally pull into the garage and things just escalate from there. Louise pulls Tatiane out of the car. She tries to get away by running from him, but he is able to catch up with her in the elevator. In the elevator, she is trying everything possible to save herself. She pushed all the buttons. She's fighting back to get free. She's trying to run out on a different floor than hers, but he was just too strong. She was a smaller woman. She didn't stand a chance against him. He was a jiu-jitsu, however you say that, martial arts specialist, and was pumped with steroids as well. They were found in the apartment later. He is overpowering her as she fights for her life. Once in their apartment, who knows? It is unknown what happened. We can only imagine. It was horrible, to say the least. But we do know that it lasted about 20 minutes. Tatiane would be seen on CCTV falling from the sky to the pavement below. They were on the 4th floor. They didn't have a shot of her balcony where she fell from, unfortunately. But what they see next is so disturbing. Luis walks out of the apartment, grabs Tatiane's lifeless body, picks her up, takes her back into the elevator and up to their apartment. Then he brings a towel back to the elevator and he's cleaning everything up. He's wiping it down. I guess he's trying to get rid of evidence, but I mean, come on. He didn't think anybody saw anything. They did, and they called the police, and the police were already on their way. Luis is seen by other residents picking Tatiane up and saying, wake up, my love." But by the time police arrived, Luis would be nowhere to be found. He dragged Tatiane's body back up to the apartment, grabbed paper towel, wiped down the elevator, and then leaves. Yes, he just leaves. I guess he thinks he's a criminal mastermind or something and he's going to make this grand escape. So Luis ends up driving over 180 miles away and then he crashes his car. He says it's because he was so upset, and yeah, probably. But that is when the police arrested Luis. When they asked Luis, "Why did you leave your wife?" he would say he was so disturbed by images he couldn't get out of his head of Tatiane jumping off of the balcony. Yes, he's claiming that she jumped on purpose from the 4th floor. The Tatiane we seen on CCTV was a fighter. She did not look anything like someone that was giving up. Not at all. You guys tell me what you think. She was a fighter. Luis was charged with murder, incarceration of a victim, and procedural fraud. The incarceration of a victim would later be dropped, though. Forensics were able to show that Tatiane didn't die from the fall, rather from being strangled. Her autopsy would show that she didn't have an increase in cortisol or adrenaline in her body, further providing she was not alive when she went over that balcony. Luis would claim, well, better yet, his defense would claim that Tatiane and him were in a happy, healthy marriage. But the state bring in evidence and text messages stating otherwise. Tatiane even expressed that she was scared of Luis to her friends. Luis would try to take his own life a month after being incarcerated and had to be put in a psychiatric hospital. In the meantime, this is all over the news in Brazil. This case was talked about everywhere, especially with the CCTV footage. This brought a lot of light to violence that was happening within Brazil, and it's particularly to women. Tatiane's sister started an Instagram page called Todos for Tatiane, and that means everyone for Tatiane. The page's message is violence leaves a mark, not seeing them leaves familicides. What I get from that is if you see something, say something, but I don't think it's exclusive to reporting what you see, but rather asking if the person needs help. Are you okay? And providing some resources that could potentially help them. You can get out and that they're worth it, that basically don't ignore the problem. But you guys give me your thoughts below on what that message is. So why the message is so important is because much like the US's culture in the 80s that, kind of gave off the impression that women are men's properties, basically, they would have a saying in Brazil that was "don't stick a spoon in it," basically meaning don't get involved in other people's relationships. So social media picked up this hashtag of #stick a spoon in it to encourage others to call the police, try to help someone who's in distress or danger. They demanded change. This is believed to be the reason why there's no reports against Luis for violence on Tatiane, because that is not what they did. You don't do that. You keep it within your household. And statistically, only 25% actually report their abuse without a cultural stigma on top of it. So you add that and it's a recipe for disaster. Brazil is known for their high familicide rate. The trial lasted 7 days. Luis was convicted of murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The jury was made up of all men. I'm sure the defense liked that. but it didn't help Luis in the end. So nice try. But what's odd about Luis is in one breath, he's apologizing to the family, but in another one, he's stating, she jumped off. I didn't do that. This is a sad case, and I am wondering if the steroids that old piece of crap Luis was doing played a big role in his advanced aggression. I mean, he was a piece of crap for the duration of the relationship, it sounds like, but I'm wondering if the steroids just put him over the top. I do think his steroid use just confirms to me how insecure he actually was. He should have focused on being a good person. You guys let me know what you think. And I'm almost wondering if we know 20, this is just my thoughts. You guys can click off if you don't want to hear them, but I'm just wondering if the 20 minutes that they were there, it takes a while to strangle somebody, and her Heimlich bone was fractured, and she had marks on her neck. So it's proven that she was indeed choked. So if she was, and then, so that takes, I don't know, it can take 5 to 10 minutes, 3 to 10 minutes. I don't know. It takes a while. So that additional time did he just sit there and think about his next move to cover it up for him, and then he decides to do it? Or were they fighting on the balcony and he pushed her? I don't know. I'm almost thinking that he did it to cover it up. Why would she go out in the balcony? She would be in fear that he would push her. I don't know. But they were both drinking, so you're not thinking straight. So I don't know. I'm really curious. We'll never know because he is still claiming the same story. But I hope this did make some change in Brazil. This case has been covered a lot in Spanish, so I think it's getting the attention that it deserves, but I just wanted to bring it up here. Anyways, thanks you guys. Thanks to all my channel members who continue to support me. Their names are on the screen. If you would like early access to new videos or help decide the cases that I cover next, you can do that by clicking the join button. Well, if you guys have made it to the end, you guys are rock stars and I love you to death. There are more true crime videos in my Captured Killers playlist if you would like to check them out. But either way, stay safe, my loves. And remember, if you see something, say something. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.